Be the doctor for the Dark Sprunkus to make them heal. I'll start with Orin since we observed that he's not feeling well. His belly kinda opened up. So I'll begin by applying anesthesia to make him fall asleep. And look everyone, his eyes have closed. Now I'll grab the cotton to clean the blood stains. This is the only way the boy will heal. And done, I think this looks good. Now I'll have to work on this part of his belly. I'll start by placing the ribs where they're supposed to be, which should be inside his belly. Alright folks, I think this looks good. Now I'll grab the needle because I need to stitch this part. So let me close this part of his body and of course add some stitching marks. Now to make the stitches less visible, I'll add some gauze. And there you go folks, he's healed. The anesthesia has worn off and look at Orin now everyone. Orin has recovered and is back to his normal version. As you can see, he's playing his horror version but he's healthy. His creative abilities are improving very well and his appearance is healthier than ever. The boy simply healed. We can also see that the other Sprunkus have healed. For example, Ratty, who used to have the skull in the original version, which was exposed as you can see here. But now in the healed version of the Sprunkus, it's covered with the bandage, and Ratty now looks much more normal than before. Now he's healthy. How great! In the original version, it was like this, guys. As you can see, the plate on his head looks strange because part of his head was missing from the top. But in the healed Sprunky version, we can see that this part is healed, and the plate is now moving strangely. Not to mention, there's also a bandage moving underneath. Very weird. But at least the top of his head is back and his appearance is much more normal than before. Funbot folks is like this. You can see that he doesn't change at all in the dark version, but when we put him in the normal version, we can see that he has bandages on both his antenna and his visor. It's strange because he didn't need healing, but they decided to add it. Alright, no problem. Veneria in this dark version looks like this. Her eyes are bulging out and she has a huge mouth. Would she look different in the healed version? And this, folks, is Veneria's healed version. You can see that her eyes are now closed. Probably they couldn't put her eyes back, so they just covered them. And here's a bandage on her as well. Look how all the healed Sprunkus from this version look, folks. Wow, guys, this is crazy. All the Sprunkies are now modified to be healed with bandages. But now I'd like to test Gray since he also doesn't have any modifications. Like Funbot, he survived the dark version. So, how does he look in the healed version? Let's put him here. And check this out, folks. He has bandages on both his right ear and his torso. I'm not sure what happened for him to have these bandages, but alright. Let's now put Brud. In the dark version, he looks like this. Missing part of his head, and down here his torso is kinda open. Let's see if he's healed too. Check this out, folks. In the healed version, he looks like this. The bandage covers his head and his torso is healed too. So yeah, he was healed in this version. Let's put everyone together to see how they look, folks, because they all have healing bandages and plus they all look much better, right? Let's agree. For Wave 2, now we have our beloved VR man, our dear Garnold. But in this version, he looks very strange. His VR visor is broken and his eye is visible. Not to mention that he has a weird smile. How would he look in the healed version? Well, in the healed version, he would look like this, folks. He has a huge bandage, almost like a hat on his head. I'm not sure why, but also his eyes stopped being red. His sound is also very high, and his tooth is gone here. What happened? Let's now put Owax, and he looks like this in the dark version. He's screaming with his huge mouth, and even his lower body is open. Man, I think he lost some skin, poor guy. In the healed version, he looks like this, folks. He's still screaming desperately, but you can see that he has a bandage here in this part, which doesn't make sense because he was all destroyed last time. I'm not sure how he regenerated to the point where there are no more holes in his skin. Now let's put Sky. She looks like this in the dark version, folks. She has these bars going through her. In the healed version, she looks like this man. She has a bandage on her face, just like Ratty, for example. The sun has this big eye in the dark version, and I really want to know how we'll heal him in the normal version. Will he have a bandage on his eye? Oh man, no, he actually has a bandage on the bottom of his head, on his mouth. But why did this happen? His eyes, which turned into this huge thing, are now normal. Weird. Let's now put Derple. He looks like this in the Terror version, with this huge mouth. He's just screaming and making this weird symphony. In the healed version, he looks like this, folks. He has a bandage on his head, but he still opens his huge mouth, which which I don't think should happen, to be honest. Let's also put Mr. Tree. Since her missing plate is gone, I don't think there's anything to heal here. To heal her, they just have to remove that plate and her head would show. Let's see if she healed this way, folks. Oh, really? They put a bandage where the missing plate was. She has a really happy face, man, for being healed. Oh man, how cute. Let's now put Simon. In this scary version, he looks very strange because he has this huge mouth. Not to mention that his eyes aren't visible on his face. But let's see how he looks in the healed version. What? Is this serious? He's singing normally, but the only bandage on him is on his antenna. What happened to his eyes? Shouldn't there be a bandage on his mouth too? But it seems to be fine. Let's put Tuner now. And Tuner looks like this, folks. He has a hole in his hat. Did they remove this hole in the healed version? Let's see, folks. Let's put him here. And really, man, the part of his hat was stitched, and this part of him has a bandage as if a bump grew on his face. Or maybe it's his ear that's showing. Let's put all of Wave 2 together to see how they look singing, folks. Look at this, it's so cool. All the healed Sprunkies from Wave 2, man. Man, this is so much, oh my god. There's so many bandages on the screen. And now let's put Mr. Fun Computer. He looks like this, and he's also singing the lyrics, which appear on his screen. When we put him in the healed version, we can see that he has a happy face and plays a different tune from the original. Check this one out, folks. Is it just me, or is there someone singing with him? Why does he have that thing on his head too? It's like a healing hat. It's the same hat Garnold has. Is there a connection between the two? The next Sprunky we have here is Wenda. She looks very strange, as if she's gone crazy, and also has these weird eyes. In the healed version, she looks like this, folks. She still has this crazy face, but now she has a bandage on her eyelid and eyebrow, and her ear moves while the other stays still. Weird! Now let's move on to Pinky. She looks like this in the dark version, man. Her face is completely smashed. Something hit her face, I think. In the healed version, she looks like this, man. Of course, she has a bandage on her face, right? It has to be there, please. At least she's healed. Now she has one eye showing and the other. Her eye and mouth are bandaged. Let's now put Jevin, folks. In this dark version, he didn't change much. He just looks scared with this horror face. In the healed version, he looks like this, folks. Look at this. He has a bandage on his eyelid, the same as Wenda. Let's see the other characters too, to see how they look together, all bandaged. Look how cool this is, folks. All the characters from Wave 3 singing together with bandages on their faces. Not to mention the secret character Black from this dark version who looks like this. And in the healed version, he looks like this, folks. That white face was replaced by a normal Sprunky face. And now everyone is doing well, man. Everyone is alive, folks. And subscribe to the channel for more Sprunky.